Hello, everybody. Welcome to Calabunga Ranger Talk. It's me, DTV83, and Mascara. Today, we're going to be talking about the most powerful Ranger of all, as far as I can tell. Besides the Green Ranger, this is the Phantom Ranger. We all
Yeah.
know him from Turbo and Space, and that's where we're going to leave it. We're not going to do no Boom Comics today, but if you want to leave comments about the Boom Comics, be our guest. We can go back and answer them as best as we can. But today, we're going to do Turbo and Space. And Master, why don't you get us started?
Okay, so the elephant in the room. There's a lot of elephants for Power Rangers, but one of the big ones. I mean, all of Megaforce really, but I digress. Uh, is who the hell is the Phantom Ranger? Where did he? I mean, like we kind of know where he comes from in the show.
Yes,
So
he's
he comes from the Car Planet, I believe, where they made the rescue Zords, right?
he comes from Eltar. Actually, he
Yeah,
actually does come from Eltar. Even in Turbo, they say he comes from Eltar. So he comes from the same planet Zoldyar comes from.
yeah. That's where I think people get kind of confused, thinking that it's Zordon's son, because a lot of
Yeah.
people say it's Zordon's son, but no, he never said it was my dad or nothing. But
No, he
yeah,
never said it. He never talks about where his
yeah,
relation to Zordon is at all in the show.
yeah. When you were watching the show, what did you think? Who do you think it was? What do you think the Phantom Ranger was?
You know, I just think it's somebody that's part of the grid. I'm just gonna use the grid as the example here. Somebody that got a lucky power of some sort to protect something or another of the Rangers.
Yeah,
Because in the show they don't really explain what the power's from. He has a special gem, kind of like he's like the Iron Man of Power Rangers, really. And that's kind of the funny part.
that's a good analogy actually. That kind of nails him pretty well.
It really does. Without that gem, he dies after a while.
Yeah,
Just it's that's his powers, really. I don't know where he got it from. What's Red Ranger form he was supposed to be beforehand or not. But
yeah,
yeah, all I know of him really is he's from Eltar. He comes to the planet to help the Rangers protect the planet from something big. And
yeah.
yeah, it's a very interesting
General
overall
Havoc, right?
storyline. Yeah, General Havoc.
The Divatox's
Divatox's
brother.
brother, yeah. But at the beginning of that, you never know that was actually happening. It was just he landed on the planet, and one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden, I think it's like the third or fourth episode, Data Talks brother finally shows up in his little
Yeah,
spacecraft that he builds for Diva Talks to take
hmm
over the planet that she desires. Um, it's
yeah,
very unique. I think I haven't watched it in a long time. I remember a little bit of it. I don't remember the very last episode of the Phantom Ranger in the Turbo series, but I do remember a lot of it. Come to think about it, but who is he? No one knows. And I don't think anybody ever will know by the TV show unless somebody makes a big storyline about it in a comic book or a specialized movie or something. But
yeah,
yeah, I think it's kind of cool that they don't have an actual, person. It's not, it's not a kind of like, it's not like the Gold Ranger where it's three people in one suit. The aliens.
yeah,
Trey, I think it's called. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think overall, I think that was a great little mystery Ranger that they had an idea for. I did hear that they were supposed to actually reveal him at the end of the series, out of the end of the Turbo series, but again, cost, budget. We all know about the Power Ranger budget line
yeah,
and stuff that so it never happened. They decided, no, we're not going to take that route. We're not going to hire an actor just to be in two shots or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's very much well. He's sort of an amalgamation of things because he is technically supposed to be Billy. Like if you follow the continuity of Zeo moving into it, because remember, Billy kept pulling away. He was dressed in black. He was the whole like they were kind of gonna do that. So there's one thread. you could pull on that. Maybe it's
That's
Billy, maybe
true.
it's not, because somebody had to create the turbo powers, because in the movie, because the movie's continuity with the TV show. Okay,
Yeah.
they basically walk into the command center, and there's this big. You remember that game Simon, where you used to
Yeah,
hit the
yeah.
button?
Of course I remember that
It was
game.
a table version of Simon. They smash their hand.
Oh yes, yes, you're right.
Yeah, but somebody built that, right? So,
Yeah.
so I figured, okay, it's got to be Billy and Billy, and they never really, say who it is, and it doesn't really make any sense as far as other plot points. Like some of his storyline is actually Blue Centurion's storyline because he was the one. Remember, he's the messenger. He was the
Hmm.
one that had the message of the alliance of evil and all of these things, and that was what Diva Talks found inside of him when she was like reprogramming him.
Yeah.
So that they kind of skirted that into Phantom Ranger too. So
Yeah. But you had a good point. It could have been Billy because in one of the episodes he takes the Rangers down below Angel Grove, under Angel Grove to get the new
yeah,
Zords. Now, if
yeah,
this Phantom Ranger is just supposed to be a out of the nowhere ranger, how does he know about these Zords underneath the Angel Grove? Where if Billy was the main guy and he was always pulling away, like you said, in Zeo and stuff, of course he could be building the Zords or something. I mean, as in today's age, it's not saying, "Oh wow, he builds Zords." That can't be possible. He redid power coins in once and for always. I mean, come on, he can do that. He can build Zords.
oh no,
Um,
he
yeah,
built
so
most of the fleet for Zeo.
he did.
So
He did.
he literally built most of the fleet, like except for the costumes.
Yeah.
He pretty much, because he didn't take up the yellow part of the crystal. Remember in Zeo, he gave
Yeah,
it. He passed it on to Tanya.
yeah, and he
But
couldn't. He didn't do that. And he couldn't even take the Gold Ranger's powers either. So that was
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I
Um,
thought that was like I thought that was a cool mystery because they were saying the Gold Ranger's Billy, and it's not Billy, and no, it's Tommy's brother, the dude that had the red battleizer. Remember that they find the in Zeo, they because Tommy is Native American and he meets like his spirit brother or something like that,
oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's the one that helps him unlock the red battle sword.
I don't
The,
remember that exactly. It's been a while.
yeah,
It's been a while, but I know you probably have a better
yeah,
memory
yeah,
than I do on that part.
yeah, and the other one that was supposed to be the the Gold Ranger was supposed to be Richie. Remember, like the guy that was like being friends with the other Rangers, and he was like hanging around. He was working at the juice bar part time, and
Oh
they were giving
yeah,
him lines and things like that. So I like that at the end there they were like, you know what, the hell with it, we're bringing back Jason. you know what
exactly.
I
They
mean?
brought back Jason. Yeah, and I thought as I remember that as a kid or a young teenager. I thought that was the coolest thing to see an original Power Ranger come back. As another Ranger. Um, but yeah, back to the Phantom though. I mean, let's talk about the romance side of this Phantom Ranger
Yeah,
with
Cassie.
Cassie. Yeah, and I thought it was funny. Again, it's another Pink Ranger instead of being like the Yellow Ranger having. Now it's another Pink Ranger romance.
Yeah.
Uh, but again,
Well,
she finds him originally before anybody else does too.
mhm.
They're in the gold mine, and she finds him behind the truck. And of course, he sees him by looking at the mirror. You know,
Yeah.
But what do you think of that whole romance situation?
I think it's okay. From a story perspective, I love it because it's very much world building. And I think I said this on another one of our podcasts. You could have done the thread of Cassie and Phantom Ranger lead a new team of Rangers. Mom and dad,
Yes.
oh, and one of their kids happened to be a Ranger, but you actually have a mom and dad, not like in Overdrive where he builds a kid and the kid he builds a like a 22-year-old kid, which is
Yeah.
but he adds all of these memories. This would literally be fun, and you could have like one of the Rangers be an alien. You could have a lot of world building. You could pull a lot of threads. Oh no, he's the third cousin of Zordon. You can really expand the universe of what you can do there. So I thought it was really cool. Unfortunately, they never really went through with it, and it would have also been cool because I think it would have been like the first official romance between an alien and a human
Yeah.
on the
Well,
show.
no, 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 because you have Billy and the Alien Ranger.
Yeah, but that was sort of a write-off. This would actually be an actual story arc.
Oh,
This dude would
storyline. I
actually
got you. Okay, my
he would
mistake.
actually do
Yeah,
this. Yeah, this
yeah.
was wouldn't be like fuzzy video at the end of an episode. Yeah, yeah, go on.
You're right.
On
You're
my
right. Yeah.
going to Aquatal. La, 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 la. No,
Right.
you would actually do this up in here. You know what I mean? There would be a
Yes.
payoff. That's what was interesting too. Yeah. You remember who did the voice for Phantom Ranger?
I do not. That would be something I
Because
would have to look up.
yeah. Well, if you want, look it up who it is. While I kind of go back to my other point of you
Well,
remember?
I think if I look it up because I'm on my phone right now, I
Oh,
think
okay,
I would
okay.
probably
Well,
close out the
we'll swing
screen.
back around for that then.
Yeah. I. You know what I'll do? I'll put a little caption down below of the
Yeah,
name of the person.
yeah.
And yeah.
But my point was, you remember in Zeo, the original voice of the Zeo, the Gold Ranger was Ryan Steele, the guy from VR Troopers. So
Yes.
I wanted to check if he was the guy that also did the voice of Phantom Ranger because that would have been something else too. Why don't you just use him? You took away the because that guy was supposed to be the White Ranger in the show. You remember
Yeah.
hearing about this, but that
Yes.
didn't work out because you got to bring back Tommy as an angel, pretty much ascending to us.
You heard about that story. You know about that story why they had to bring back Tommy, didn't you?
Yeah, he's the
Because
most popular dude. He sells the most toys. There's no way
well,
you're
yeah,
not
I mean
gonna.
the fans, I guess the original fans in California were really just pissed off at the people that they killed Tommy pretty much, he made his powers go away.
Yeah,
And we don't want anybody else playing that Six Ranger. I would have thought it'd be kind of cool to see him on VR Troopers,
yeah.
or Mask Rider or something like that. It would have been cool to see Jason David Frank do that.
He
But
did the
no,
pilot. He did the pilot for VR
he
Troopers,
did do the pilot, and I've seen that
but
several
they
times.
reset it. Yeah, they
Yeah,
reset it and they changed the name of the show because it used to be called Cybertron.
Cybertron. That's the name of it. I was trying to think of. Yeah, Cybertron.
Yeah. You
And I
see
think
what
that's
the
the.
Phantom Ranger
I think
does? It takes us on so many
Cybertron.
webs, you know?
I think Cybertron was the original name in Japan for that show.
Yeah.
Because again, Bandai just stole another Japanese show to make it American. So
That might
yeah,
also be like a Fox Kids thing because maybe they were working with Takara to bring in robots in disguise. And
yeah,
that's Cybertron, so you're not gonna have two Cybertrons on the same network. So that
that's
might have been it,
true.
you know? And it's such a ripoff. It's not even like a simple name like I don't know, like Aposaurus. It's Cybertron. You've
Right?
heard of Cybertron. Come on.
Yeah, of course. If you know, yeah, yeah, that's another conversation, of course.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the Phantom Ranger overall, the storyline, the martial arts that he does is very interesting because half the time you don't even see him do it. It's just him invisible kicking somebody's, some bad guy's butt in the show, and it's just like you don't actually ever see him throw a punch. It's kind of interesting to think about. You don't really even have a person doing martial arts. You just have some blurry screen doing
Yeah.
stuff. So it could have been anybody in that suit. They could have made anything. They could even had it as a some way that Zordon was in the suit because it's had the crystal, and but that would have made no sense because at the end when they took the crystal, but you
Yeah, because
know,
he's looking for Zordon, right?
yeah,
He doesn't.
exactly.
He's not gonna look for himself.
Oh no, of course not.
I mean, I have no idea what the show writers was it Jonathan Zacher? I believe his name is. You know, the guy that
Yeah,
they brought back that he liked to do the big colorful explosions
yeah.
and people didn't like him. Yeah, but I think he was the one he was the writer of the show back then.
Now I do have a question. Maybe you can remember how many more episodes after the Phantom Ranger was on it before the show actually ended, before they went to space.
I think he was on a lot actually. I don't know the exact number, but I think he basically fills the role of the Sixth Ranger.
Okay.
But the interesting thing with him is most of the footage for him was American footage because if you know the Super Sentai, he was only in two scenes in Super Sentai. He brought out the Zords and he fought one fight. That was the two things that they did in the Sentai. But in
Okay.
America, you constantly saw him walking around the park, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. So
or
he's the
fighting quadrans or something.
so he was one of the more original American scenes. Like the only other original American Power Ranger person
Yeah,
is Lord Zed. Lord Zed was the only original American. He had nothing to do with Sentai at all.
I think for us for like American audience, I think the invisible thing was a new thing because there wasn't enough character development in the Sentai. I think that was a us thing, so that might have been
I
like the
think,
first superpowers,
yeah, I think
right?
that was just us. Yeah,
Yeah, because he's only in like two three scenes in the Sentai. There's not enough world building, and you look at the costume. What do you think of the costume, by the way?
I actually like the costume. I think it's unique compared to the Turbo costumes. I think it looks much better.
Yeah,
Um, I never really been a fan of the Turbo costume too much.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, even when I watched the movie, I watched like a week ago.
Mm,
It's not it's a good movie, but it's not. Could have been a lot better. I think the first movie was better than the second movie.
yeah. Yeah, one day we're gonna have to break down the movie. I guess that's another episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's for 2024 though. But getting back to the Phantom Ranger, I think the design was slick. Like you look at it and it looks like a black Corvette, right? Like the face of it is supposed to be like the face of a like a black Corvette, but
yeah.
the body, but he's got body armor, so it's like
It's
you know, it's and he's got big ass shoulder pads, and you know, what I mean,
uh,
and the ruby in the chest, and
yeah.
he's
Well,
got sort
he
of the
really
RoboCop hips. Yeah,
he really does remind me of Iron Man, though. Seriously, I mean, it's not just the gym; it's just
yeah,
the overall feel. He can just it's just the overall like the way he looks. Like you said, he's slick. He's built like he could be like a machine more than a ranger. And that's the thing. That's the way he acts too. When he needs to go fast, he goes super fast. When he needs to disappear, he can just boom disappear. His action scenes ain't very action. Again, you don't see him. He's disappeared. But
yeah,
his overall suit, I love it. I love the suit. I mean, it's not something you see even today. You don't see that. I
yeah.
mean, look at a Cosmic Fury suit. I mean, that's just plain compared to his suit.
Oh, well, look, Cosmic Fury is a web of things. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
people actually are talking about Cosmic Fury. Leading up to Once and for Always two. Now there's a rumor about having a second Once and for Always. Who saw that
Well,
coming? I mean, I already thought of that when I first saw it. It wasn't going to be called Once and Always in my mind, but you know,
you could try to be cute and call twice and always.
how about Billy's Adventure?
I think that I think they would actually call it twice and always, and it'd be kind of cool if they call it twice and only, and you set up two teams of Mighty Morphin, and you alternate some of the helmet so it looks a little different. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is Billy, the Blue Ranger from Team A, and then there's another dude. I mean, there's enough Mighty Morphin Rangers now that you could have two teams.
Oh yeah, of
Uh,
course.
they were the Aisha and Adam's characters in the show. Well, in the Once and Always special, they're in space and they're traveling. You could have had them give the a Black Ranger powers or some sort of new powers that are similar to the MMPR costumes to kind of make a second. You know,
Well,
I th-
they could do Zeo.
yeah, Zeo's that weird thing too, because Zeo is the if they get wet, like, it kills the powers.
Is that what
And that's
that
all
was?
headcanon. Nobody's ever actually said that, you know.
Okay, I was
that's
gonna say, is that how
that's
that?
fan can say. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because I was
just
like, I
us
don't
fans.
remember that.
Yeah.
Because as far as I remember, Zeo powers were supposed to grow with them. Like it's supposed to keep going more powerful, more powerful, more powerful. But then they went to Turbo.
Yeah, they basically killed the powers when in the movie, you remember, Cat was like falling down a cliff and she morphed and then she hit the water as she was
Yeah,
Zeo Ranger, and then that kind of,
I know. It was
tanked
the
out
only
the
time you got to
powers.
see a Zeo Ranger on the. Yeah,
Yeah, uh,
it was weird.
that was weird. Uh, but kind of moving on, back to the Phantom Ranger thing. One of the points I wanted to talk about was the toy, the Lightning Collection figure. Do you have it? Did you not get it? What do you think of the Lightning
I do
figure?
not have either one of them.
Okay.
There's actually two of them, and I'll put pictures up here during the edit. But there's the standard one that's just black, and then there's one that's actually clear that I found online not too long ago.
Yeah.
And it because I hadn't seen the show in a long time, it took my mind a second to go, why is it clear?
Yeah.
They have a clear version. It's because he's supposed to be disappeared. So to complete the set to make it look cool, you would have to have two of them. You'd have to
Yeah.
have the one that's black and the one that's clear. But it's Hasbro again. Hasbro's has a lot of flaws in their stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it has a lot of
I actually have
flaws.
I actually have that figure.
Do you?
I have
How was it?
It's a fun figure. I think the disconnect with fans is, since there's no human head, there's no character, there's no way to really attach yourself to the character, which
Well,
which goes back to, the identity of who the hell is. If you don't know who he is, why would I care about him? You know what I mean? I think
that's what I
that's
was
what
just kind of
people
about ready to say.
don't.
Is if I got a character that had a human head that never had a human head in the show, why would I care about a human head? You know?
Oh yeah, or bro, there's a million things you could do with Power Rangers that is right there. Like, you know, especially with Phantom Ranger. You know what? You could have done the if Boom Comics does their own thing. Why didn't you include a Boom Comics head? Of whatever the character is in the Boom Comics. They're whatever. At least do the Boom Comics version of Phantom Ranger. And you're gonna do the white and gold version of the same character. So it's just
Now,
reusing the buck. You know.
yeah. Now that you brought that up, because I do know a little bit of the comic book, just a little bit about it. The white and gold one is actually his original form before he becomes the Phantom Ranger. Believe it or not. So that first
Okay.
form, the white and gold, is actually before he goes into the grid, and something happens in the grid and makes him into the Phantom Ranger.
The pure black suit with
Yeah,
the. Oh, so it gets corrupted or something?
he gets
The suit
corrupted
gets
or
corrupted?
something. Yeah, because the storyline in the Boom comics goes when he's in the white and gold suit, he's going to save Rita
Yeah, I
Repulsa.
did read that one shot. Yeah,
Okay. And so after that, something happens. I don't know 100%, but then he ends up in the grid, and by the time he gets back from the grid, he's in all black.
mhm.
And I guess it's a big, long story, but I know only a little bit of it. But yeah, so the original form was just the white and gold. And then I guess
Yeah,
that form actually had a human form somehow. And then there's one that's Phantom. So unless he dies in the grid or something, and he just is a spirit, and the Phantom's just a spirit, that would make sense why he can disappear. You know?
yeah. I've heard some people talk about he's the embodiment of Rangers. So he's like a
Yeah,
composite of the spirit of dead Rangers put together, or something like that.
that was something else. Yes, I've heard that too, and that's kind of an interesting concept because then the voice would be any voice that he would want at that point. You know?
But there's no way this character is the spirit of a bunch of dead Rangers because of the Ruby. The Ruby alone kind of takes a dump on it. The Ruby kind of makes him. He has to be an alien that needs the Ruby to stay alive. Period. Right? Like
Right.
this is basic like superhero.
101. Yes.
101. Yeah. Like Power Rangers. They need their morphers to morph. This alien needs the Ruby to live. Like
Exactly.
you were saying about Iron Man. Iron Man needs the
Little
cell
chest.
battery in his chest
Yeah.
to keep the metal from entering his heart and poisoning him to death. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you could have done so many things, there. You know,
Yeah.
uh, I I thought the original, I had the original toy as a kid too. The did you have it? The one where you press the thing in the back and the chest would spin, like the flaps would open and it would like have a fan in the chest.
No, I did not have
The
that.
Bandai one. Yeah, that was
No.
a fun toy.
I've had a lot of different Band-Aid toys. Apparently, like I have a White Tiger Zord that's a RC White Tiger Zord.
Yeah,
That one was interesting to have. Have you ever seen that one, the little RC one?
I have the RC one. It's pretty sizable. It's pretty big. It just doesn't transform.
Yeah,
It's a standalone thing.
yeah. I
And
guess
man,
it was.
that was a short cord too. It's
It
like
was. I still have it. Mine doesn't function 100%. I don't know what's wrong with it. It does work, but the
yep.
gears don't move in the back legs. Unfortunately, I gotta probably take it apart and clean it. I think that's all it is.
If the electrical current from the battery is still getting to it, that might just be a little bit of oil you need to put in the back of the
That's
legs.
what I'm saying. Taking it
A little
apart
bit of
and it's
rust. It might be a
yeah.
little rust just out of time. Time will make rust.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was sitting in an attic. My whole box of Power Ranger toys from Bandai was sitting in an attic for over 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. When you have kids and stuff, you just put a step away and then forget about it. And then you get older,
Yeah.
you take things down and go, hey, look, well, I have kids. And also you're like, oh, that's not working anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, there was this Phantom Ranger. All right, Dad. Whatever.
Right, right. Actually, that's kind of funny. When my older son got into Sentai, because I was watching. He goes, "What's that, Dad?" Because he didn't know what Power Rangers was, or the original MMRP. I said, "That's Super Sentai." He goes, "What's that?" I said, "Well, we know it as Power Rangers over here." And he goes, "Well, let me see the American one." And so I put on the one with the Green Ranger because that's what I was watching. I was watching the one with Burai, and I showed him back and forth how they were using how the Americans were using the Japanese scenes.
Mhm.
And he watches like 2 or 3 episodes of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he goes, "Dad, I love Super Sentai. It was more adult like. I like that. This Morphin Power Ranger stuff is crap." And I started laughing because that's his age level. I have a very intelligent son. He's above his age level. But to say that, it just kind of made me laugh because I have a thing for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Because that's what I grew up on. But I can see his point of view, seeing Sentai being more of the adult like. It has more of a story base than just one
Yeah.
episode after the other, after the other, after the other, where it's just like, okay, well, Kimberly's gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, and we're gonna fight this monster just because we need a monster. You know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
most people are going to gravitate towards the Sentai opposed to most Power Ranger seasons just because Sentai is a beginning, a middle, and end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got the
Exactly.
Zords, we save the planet, and we defeat the bad guys, and that's the goal. Or like one of the most goal-rific shows, kind of going off. You remember Operation Overdrive?
Yes.
From the first episode, you know exactly what the last episode's gonna be. They get the 5 crowns, and they get the jewel and the 5 crowns, the Aurora
Yeah.
Borealis or something. Yeah, so you know this is gonna be a very serialized show. But
But it,
it's different with Power Rangers because there's a lot of throwaway episodes, a lot of filler, which can be fun too. But
oh, it can
it's
definitely be fun. It's just I think I know this is off subject, but I think the biggest problem with the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was I think it was just people was hoping for an ending and they never really ended it. They just
yeah.
decided to go, well, we're gonna take these suits and we're gonna go into these suits and we're gonna rename it, but we're gonna have no true ending between the two series.
Well,
You know,
the thing is, the show was out of their hands successful, which is very
it's
similar
odd.
to, yeah, but it's like unexpectedly popular,
Yeah,
like like says it's literally parallel with Ninja Turtles because Ninja Turtles, you remember the original show was 12 episodes. The
Oh
first
yes.
the first season was 12 episodes, and then season two we're gonna need 60. What?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty big jump from 12, bro.
Well, originally, like the Ninja Turtles, like you said, originally that show was only
It
supposed to be
like
those
it
episodes, and that was
really
it.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't supposed to be any more episodes after that first season. It was just these episodes are supposed to promote your comic book and the toy line, and then after
Yeah.
that, we're done. And they went to a whole different studio just to continue on because one of the people from the main studio that did the TV show was like, "Oh no, this is a hit. We need to keep going. Don't care about the toys line. We just need to keep going with the TV show." Anyways, off. That's a little off subject.
Yeah.
Another show that we both love, Turtles.
But it goes right there with it of
Oh,
like
definitely.
the explosion of its popularity kind of dwindles what the show is. Because going back to Power Rangers, I'm pretty sure you remember when they had that two-parter with the island of despair or something, island
Oh,
of nightmare.
yes.
I think that was supposed to be the end of the show, and then they were like, no, no, oh my god, we're gonna go 5 days a week now. We need to have like 40 more episodes, and we gotta get the Tokusatsu to film more stuff, and we gotta get the Sentai because that's where Zoo 2 came from, adding in more footage. Oh no, we're out of White Ranger footage or we're out of Green Ranger footage. You know what? We'll make our own Green Ranger footage with the funny vest, with the funny
Oh yeah,
shield.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When you finally find the actual, that's actually a good point. When you see the difference of the chest plate, yeah, the
Yeah,
shield, they're making their own footage. And when it comes to the White Ranger,
but it just
that
became so
alone,
popular. You know what I mean? It's they must have had a game plan, right? Like Power Rangers, when the show first came out,
you
just
you
like
would
Ninja
think so.
Turtles. Like, hey,
Yeah,
look,
you
we're
would think
gonna do
Saban
30
did.
episodes and hope for the best.
I think
'Cause-
Saban wasn't 100% sure of the Power Rangers. Like, if you watched have you seen the Lost pilot? There's the pilot
yeah,
episode, and then there's the Lost pilot.
yeah, I saw the Lost Pilot. I believe her name is Aubrey Dubois or something.
Yes,
The
the original
original.
Yellow.
Yeah, she was in it, and I think Bulk and Skull were in it too. But they used a different TV set. Like there was a different high school, and it was like mostly around the bowling alley or something where they're morphing.
Yeah,
And
they're in a bowling alley, and instead of being Bulk being the big bully, Skull's the main bully. They look more like punk rockers and not.
yeah, that's the worst
Yeah.
graphics for a Zordon I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God, yes, I know.
That's just them and a green screen.
But I did
By the
like the
time,
Bulk. I like the Bulk and Skull in that though. I thought that was really good.
yeah.
The but again, it was really violent comparatively speaking to what they showed on the very first episode of Power Rangers as well.
Well, when they finally got to the show proper, well, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode one, Day of the Dumpster and all that, I think it it was just like one of those like lightning in a bottle type thing. Like you could only do that once. Like when Jason says, come on, we're off to see the world. We're off to save the world. When
Yeah.
that when that's where are we going? We're off to save the world. You know how many superhero shows have wanted to say we're off to save the world? As
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's the coolest fucking line in all of superheroes. I'm sorry. We're off to save the world. And it was cool as shit. I don't like to curse too much, but it was cool just because they were the first to actually say it. Batman doesn't tell Robin, hey Robin, we're off to save the world. But it's
Right.
exactly what you're gonna do. The Ninja Turtles will go say we're off to save the world. No, the Ninja Turtles were gonna, beat up the bad guy, stop the foot, stuff like that. But that line alone was like such a pop. And then you see them, teleporting into the site to fight Goldar and stock footage and whatever.
Yeah.
But that line, I created Mascara Fighters, and there's no way I can write "We're off to save the world" and it's gonna have that type. Of, you know what I mean? Creator to creator, even I'm like, they got it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So let's circle back around. I have a question for you. Would
Sure.
you like to see a spinoff of the Phantom Ranger?
Yes, You know what? I think and I kind of said this on another podcast. We were talking about Cosmic Fury. Like, there was no point in bringing in the Talon Ranger thing. I know it's to shut up the more current fans, but you could have just brought in Phantom Ranger. That was the
Yeah.
one that was hanging. It was low hanging fruit. Everybody wanted to know. Older fans. Let's be honest. Power Rangers is living right now by its older fans.
Oh, it is.
The younger fans couldn't care less. You could walk into a Ross right now and buy 75 Dino Fury Megazords for $12 because the kids don't want. I have one right here.
You know, I just bought my son for Christmas his very first Megazord. It's the
Yeah,
cheap one. It was like $35 on sale on Amazon. It's still 5 Zords. You still put them together, but it's the cheaper one. It's not the Zord Ascension. It's just the original Megazord like you would have in Bandai, but it's made by Hasbro.
is it this one? This is the
Uh,
regular one.
yeah, it's the regular one.
Yeah, this is the regular one.
Yeah,
I have a
it's
somewhere.
the I call it the cheaper version, the one that's actually
Yeah,
affordable.
yeah,
And I don't see anything wrong with it because I had because I know what Hasbro does. So I opened up the boxes to look to make sure everything was in there, make sure nothing was broken because I didn't want to buy him something and then have to try to return it after Christmas and be like, oh, it's too late, you can't return it. So I had to open it up and make sure that Hasbro didn't mess anything up.
yeah,
um, but yeah, when it comes to the Phantom Ranger, you made a good point there, and it would have just caused everything to just be done.
yeah.
The Phantom Ranger could have been even at the opening scene, and at the end of the scene at the concert where they said to Billy, "Oh no, I heard that from my dream state or whatever it is." The guy said, "Oh, we got to go look for Zordon now. He's still out there." The Phantom Ranger could have probably be like, "Billy, no, he's not there anymore. I know," and be done.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that
I
would have been
think
a
there's a
perfect
lot
ending
of
too.
material to do there. Yeah,
That could have been the perfect ending. And then Billy could have said something like, "How do you know?" And he could take off his helmet and be like, "Hey, look, there you go. Now you know who the Phantom Ranger is. You know why Zordon's not coming back, and you know why the show is ending."
you know another thing that I just thought of, and it really would have been out of left field, but it kind of would have shut people up. Is if Phantom Ranger was in Megaforce, somehow he was connected to Gosei. So because Gosei is pretty much whatever they want for the plot. It doesn't really.
Yeah.
I'm Zordon's apprentice. No, you're not, bro. There's no way. And even if he is, I mean, I don't want to get into a whole thing about Gosei, but you're getting back to the point. Any last thoughts you have on, or any other stuff you want to cover on Phantom Ranger before we kind of move on? Because
You
that
know,
is the topic of the
yeah,
episode,
yeah. Well, when it comes to the Phantom Ranger itself, I think they could have used him more in just the Power Rangers show in general. Because
Mhm.
he wasn't a main character in any show, he was just a character. You know, he ended up in Turbo, he ended up in space, he ended up in a movie, I guess, one of the short movies of Power Rangers. Um,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we didn't talk about that. We they brought him in to the. I think Bad in the Sun did a project where they had the Phantom Ranger there.
Oh, did they?
And yeah, and this was recent. This was with JDF, and I think that was for a video game or something. But they made a costume. They recreated a Phantom Ranger costume, which has to tell you people have interest in the character. So why
Oh,
wouldn't you go back to him? And this was
yeah.
recent. This was like 4 years ago. I mean, for Power Rangers, it's pretty recent.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I,
Uh,
I mean,
I
like,
think.
seriously, like you said, people like our age, the ones that love Power Rangers, are the ones that are keeping this franchise alive.
Yeah.
And I know in our next conversation, our next podcast, we're going to be talking about what's happening with Hasbro and stuff. So I'm not going to get too deep into it.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna do our predictions for
yeah,
Power
prediction, that's
Rangers.
right. So, but if we think about that and what they're doing with the Phantom Ranger and the shows and stuff, I really hope they do something with the Phantom Ranger in the upcoming years. When they finally, whatever the heck they're doing, live action,
Yeah.
anime, whatever, whatever they're planning on really doing. Because everything's up in the air right now. Hasbro's up in the air. Super 7 is having their own little issues too with the action figures as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
I looked into the Super 7 stuff lately and it's not looking good. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Things are pretty soft right now as far as like Bulk and Skull and
Okay, so now you brought that up, I'm just gonna say this. There was a good 50-50 chance they're gonna end up just like Manamore and the White Tiger Zord. And it's really sad to say that because I'm really hoping for them. Because the exact reason why Manamo and the White Tiger Zord did not get published because it was not enough pre-orders. Well, according to
yeah.
the
Well,
main guy himself.
let me give my last thoughts on Phantom Ranger, and then we can move on to other
Okay,
little
okay, go ahead.
topics or whatever. So to kind of wrap up, my thoughts on the character, I think it's really interesting. It would have been fun to see who he is, wrap up his storyline, and since he's so damn mysterious, I think he would have fit perfectly in Megaforce because Megaforce had so many holes in it. You could, oh no, Phantom Ranger's here, Phantom Ranger's there, and then Robo Knight. It would kind of fill some of the gaps to take away some of the hatred of Megaforce because Megaforce has a lot of hatred to it. So
Yes,
that's
yes, it
that's
does.
pretty much my topics. My thoughts on Hopefully we do get something. Since
Yeah.
we're kind of moving over, since we were a minute ago talking about Megazords, I want to show you one of the Megazords I have because this is like my Megazord, my Dino Megazord shelf. I have all.
Okay.
That's why I have the original one. I have the the Mega Blocks one over the years. I got a bunch of them. I got this one from the. This was
That's
the 2010 reboot, the
oh,
little one.
that's the 2010 reboot one. Okay.
Yeah, but this is the one I actually wanted to show you, and I think this figure is fun as hell. But we're never gonna get a Dragon Zord for it, and that's the Legacy Dino Megazord.
Oh, that's
I don't know if
Legacy
you ever
one.
got. Yeah, that was the one where you had to buy one Ranger for an arm, and then this is the build a
Yeah,
figure.
because they did that with the 2017 Legacy one too.
Can you believe we're never gonna get a Dragon Zord for this guy?
Well,
That
yes, yes, I can because Bandai doesn't own it anymore.
sucks, though. I mean, this is such a good scale for a Megazord too. It's
Well,
like,
that's the thing. It's a what is it? A six?
no,
A
I think it's.
seven?
I think it. Hold on, I have a Lightning figure, so I can show you the scale, what it is. Let's see here. So I think it's seven. It's seven
Yeah, that
inches.
looks like it's like the seven. So if you want a one that kind of goes along with it, buy the Dragon Zord from Super Seven. Should fit right next to it.
Yeah, but he's gonna be like twice his width, and
Yeah,
like
I know.
four
Oh, how about
times with the tail and all that. It's nowhere near the.
has
I
Hasbro
I
made a?
like this style.
Oh yeah,
I like
has
this style.
Hasbro made a VHS version of that of the Dragon Zord? No, because the Dragon Zord's supposed to be smaller than the Megazord, anyways.
Well, yeah, we could get into that for the next show because we're gonna be
Yeah.
talking actual. We could talk about the retro fire line and all that stuff because that kind of goes here and there. Before we end the episode, I did want to show a couple of little quick pickups that I got recently.
Okay.
This one, I just got it today. I don't know if you can see it there.
Oh yeah,
This is Optimus Primal, the little one.
yeah. From Beast Wars.
Yeah, but this was the Five Below figure. Let's show you there. It's a little thing there.
Oh
This
wow,
figure
that's
is fun as
tiny.
hell. Yeah, he's tiny, but he's fun as hell. For $5, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah, because
You can't go wrong.
I've seen those figures in Walmart, and they're like too
Yeah,
much. In my opinion, they're too much.
I think this is fine for $5 too. Like, well, in 2023, what more are you gonna get for $5? This is a lot of articulation if you think about
Yeah.
it. Because people get on me about Mascara Fat. Oh, where's the articulation or what? This is a lot of articulation for $5.
See that? Okay, so there you go. Let's talk about that. Articulation. When I'm learning more and more about articulation, I'm starting to hate it. When it's too much
Yep.
articulation, it becomes too hard to pose.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like, oh, you just don't know what you're doing. You got to use stands. Well, I don't want to buy a stand. What I want is to be able just to pose them and let them stand up by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I think articulation is great, but I don't think you need. everything to move. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, get the elbow to move, maybe the wrist, but you don't need to have something to. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's why I like Super Seven better than a lot of the Hasbro stuff because it just moves too much.
Yeah. My next pickup is the I saw this at a thrift store for like $3, and there's no way I wasn't gonna take him home with me for $3.
Oh yeah, for $3, that's awesome.
This is the I believe it's a play school one, but he is big and chunky and fun. And look, he's actually got the
Yeah,
paddle.
that is the play school one. That's the one that's supposed to come with the little red ranger that goes in the back.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see what it looks like. See what it would look like with a lightning figure. This is so nerdy. But I'm a toy maker, so I think it's all right.
I can tell you how you can fix that issue. Wow.
So
There
that's
you
what a
go.
lightning figure looks. It doesn't look terrible there.
No. You know
And
what you
it's
do is you
fully
buy
model.
one of those little Super 7 reaction figures.
Yeah.
And that should fit right in there. I mean, they're
Well,
tiny.
this thing is fun. Like
Oh
if I
yeah.
was a kid, I'd be having a blast. Look,
Have
it's
you have you
chunky as
seen the
shit. You know?
have you seen the Dragon's Zord one that they made?
Yes.
The
Yes.
one that's robotic and you can fire the little missiles out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one's got a tail so big, it's bigger than my AC, bro. It's
I haven't. I want to. I want to find one at a good
literally out
price.
more than my AC in my room. It's like the tail's like this freaking
Oh,
big.
good lord!
It's huge. I don't know where to put it.
Oh, you have one.
Yes, I have it because I went to the thrift shop and I saw it for like less than $5. I think it was like 450 for the Dragonzord, and the Dragonzord like this big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like the
Yeah.
Megazord's big too. The Megazord they had from Play School.
Oh no,
It's
Play School they had the thing
yeah, they
that's
had a huge
like two
Megazord.
feet tall. It's
Yeah,
big.
that opened the chest opened up and it was yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
we should probably end this episode. We could be talking about toys forever.
Yeah. Any to kind of wrap up, any shows or anything you want to recommend to the fans? Anything at all you want to
you
something
know,
good.
I will say if you haven't actually, and this is Turtles, it's not actually Power Rangers, but if you haven't seen Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, you have to see it at least once. It's a very unique concept. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
Batman versus the Ninja Turtles?
Yes, I was actually at the premiere when they had it at WonderCon doing Mascara Fighter stuff. So I got to take pictures and interact with a lot of the voice actors, and
Oh, nice.
they're nice people, and they checked out my Mascara Fighter stuff, and so
Yeah. See, the reason I watched it
it's a
wasn't
good
because,
project too.
yeah, the reason I watched it was because it was back. It took me back to the '90s Batman, and I was looking for something in the '90s Batman style. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's the drawing right there. That's that evil looking Batman that I loved as a kid. And it was. I
yeah.
mean, it was the exact same thing, except they made Robin look tiny.
The animation on that thing is beautiful too.
Oh yeah, very beautiful. I love it.
Except for Donatello's weird head, but the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles have that thing of one of them's gonna have the weird head.
Well, again,
You know,
they went from.
he had like sort of a light bulb shaped head. So
But
that's the only
look,
way I
look
can
who was
describe it.
drawing them though. Look who was drawing them. It wasn't Mirage. It was DC.
Yeah,
Of course, it's a whole different artist. But I think they were the same voice act. Were they the same voice actors from the?
no, no, it's a completely different set of
Is it
people.
completely different? Because they were very close to the
It
one of
was
the
it
other
was their own
cartoons.
thing. It was their own thing and its own timeline. You
Well,
see it and you think, yeah, maybe it goes with the animated series, but no, it's its
oh no,
own
I'm not
thing.
talking about with it. I'm talking about the actors that did the voices
Oh
for
yeah,
the
no, no, it's
turtles.
it's completely
Oh,
different.
it's completely different. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, I was there for the panel introducing the movie.
Yeah.
Completely different thing.
So, anyways,
And
that
go ahead.
yeah, that would be the only movie I can think of off the top of my head. Because I just watched that with my son last week. And that was
Yeah,
cool. I've had it for like over a year, and I just never watched it. It was just one of those. Oh, it's the turtles. I'm gonna collect
yeah,
that. It was one of those quick buys. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, my recommendation, it has nothing to do with superheroes or anything like that, but it's just a good show, and I recommend anybody watch this. The Watch the first episode of Frasier.
Frasier.
Yeah, the first episode of Frasier. It is very much like this is how TV should be written. This is exactly how TV should be written. The way characters are introduced, and I'm watching it again because it's so much better than the reboot that they're doing on Paramount Plus. It's like years ahead of its time, and it's so funny, and especially like the first couple seasons where they're firing on all cylinders, and as a show writer, you're like, man, this is awesome. This is them at their peak, and then the show
Yeah.
does take a hit like any other show when it gets to like season 11. I mean, come on, you need to wrap that up, bro. Uh,
Yeah, so it just shows me to just stop after a while. you
yeah,
know,
I'm actually watching The Big Bang Theory because it's
I used
like
to
two
watch.
bucks on yeah, it's like $2 for the DVD on eBay. I'm like, come on, for $2, I'll take a flyer. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not gonna. Oh,
No,
you took my $2. You know what am I gonna say?
no,
We're
I like
starting to
the
get
show The
into
Big
it.
Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory is a good show. I liked it.
Yeah, but
I
they
did.
stretched the shit out of it too. I think it's got like 13 years to it or 14. It's like Two and a
Yeah,
Half
it's a.
Men, the show that should have ended after like 7 seasons. But
As soon
this
as
was fun, bro.
Charlie.
This was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody for watching our little podcast thing here. Leave your comments, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.
Bye.